Welcome back to Closing Bell. Let's get technical with these markets now. We're joined by Thomas Nagel, trader at Equinet. And Thomas, you're taking a look at the stocks, Europe versus the US.
Hi Guy, nice to be back here. Do you remember my last words from last year? At the end of the last session, I told you stay bullish for European markets. And so I think let's start with the big blue chip index in Europe. That's the Dow Jones Eurostoxx 50 index. Here you see the relative performance line of this index against the S&P 500 index. What can you see? You can see that this index was inside of a sideways movement within the last 2 years. That means we were something like neutral or something like an underperformer against US markets. But remember my words, within the last days and weeks we saw this breakout on the upside. That means that we are still outperforming, or that we are again begin to outperform the US markets, and I think that's a really, really positive sign at this moment and really, really important. But nobody's interested in this so far. That means a further outperformance of the European market against an underperformance of the US market were really a big chance for Europe. And so I think take a look to the big figure in this index, 4365. If you see a clear break of this level, this outperformance will ongoing, and we will see a really, really nice first month of this year.
Yeah, I can kind of understand why people aren't paying attention here yet, because the markets on both sides of the Atlantic are going down. But talk to me about the telecom sector as well, the relative performance of this.
Yeah, the relative performance of the telecom sector is ongoing on the upside. Do you remember we spoke about that, I think 3 or 4 months ago? At this moment, at this time, this index, this relative performance line broke the downtrend, of the last years, and that was a really big buy signal for this index, and that was the base for a really strong acceleration within the last months. This acceleration was consolidated within the last 2 months, and now within the last days we see the next step on the upside. That means we see a further ongoing of this outperformance. And let's change to the real index, to the other graph. Here you can see the weekly index of this Dow Jones Telecom index, and here you see this nice looking consolidation flag within the last 12 weeks. And take a look to the big figure, the 365 level. We see a consolidation around this level. If we see a clear upside break and an upside break of 3850, the next strong buy signals will be ahead on the way for this index. And I think this index, or equities of this indices, should be a part of your portfolio.
Just very briefly, the farmers have been a big focus over the last few days. You've got us a chart there, Fresenius.
Yeah, take a look to Fresenius Medical Care. I think within the last 16 months we saw only sideways movement of the stock, but today we saw an upside break of the last highs. We saw a clear break of the former all-time high, and it's a nice looking buy signal here. And if we can confirm that, next levels will be 4150 and 4550 for this stock.
Thomas, very nice to see you. Thank you very much indeed for taking the time to join us. Thomas Nagel joining us from Equinet. And I went to lunch with BA today. I'm not sure they actually fed you though, did they?